I think a lot of people, when we gave the tour of the winch system, wrote in and, they're like, I've never seen that before. And that's also cool because you can see what's happening on the screen, but you don't necessarily know the extent of what's going on outside of it, which is really cool. Yeah. One thing I try to ask, I think I even asked Russ this too on one of our watches, but with all researches, and it's a little bit harsh, but it's like, why do we care? Why do people care about what you're trying to do? And I think that really brings it home and saying, all of the work that we do has to have some measure of human impact.
I'm trying to think of other little tours we could do around the ship with the cameras.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, one I didn't include in trying to tell a story of, not story, but now everything's a story.
We can make it a story.
Trying to connect the dots between us and the control van and Argus down below so we saw the back deck where, if you're in quad channel, you'll be able to see this little tour again. There's the A-frame with the cable running down to Argus. And we saw the winch down below. Let's see if I can find this. Okay. Winch somewhere here. Okay, here we go. So back deck, there's the cable. Here's the winch that's turning out the cable. Okay, so start here. Here's the winch and the hold underneath the deck of the ship. Then we go to the back deck and we follow that cable again.
Mm-hmm.
Wait for it. Now we follow the cable farther down into the water.
You're trying to put 11.
Sorry?
Are you trying to put 11?
Yes. I'm just very slow going through my camera options.
Wait for it.
There's quite a lot of options here. It is a cool view though. There it is. Here we go. So here's a camera that's mounted on the stern of the ship, so you can actually see the wire, the cable going directly into the water.
That's pretty cool.
Kind of neat.
Yeah, super neat.
And then
very useful.
Yep, and also useful.
Yeah, what do you guys use that for? Other than just, the amazing view.
We don't want the cable to touch the ship. It's kind of its main reason. So, if weather has us forced into a certain heading, but we need to move in a certain bearing, specifically backing down over the wire, we want to proceed at a speed where the wire is not actually touching the ship.
And the frame helps with that too, just sort of keeping it out and away from the ship?
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you back down on it too hard, and especially at this depth, it is actually pretty easy to get the cable to touch the ship.
Real easy.
So we're always watching that. We actually put it on its own sort of large monitor just for this mission.
It's always in your mind.
It's also always in camera 11.
Yeah.
But the 11 is almost always in the way of the wire, so.
Which is a good thing. That means it's in the right spot.
Yes. It's one way to look at it.
So there are a couple of other cameras on
Just like
Argus.
bubble cam.
Whoop.
Whoop.
So we know about the forward-facing cam, the Argus Zeus camera, but there are a couple of other ones. We've got Argus, the aptly named Argus butt camera.
Oh. Is that the fin we can see in that
Yeah.
right-hand side? So that's the fin that was especially outfitted for this
For this
side scan
cruise.
sonar.
The one and only.
The one and only. And what does that do? It's supposed to level it, kind of?
It
What's
keeps
the
it from
technical term?
spinning back and forth.
Okay.
To and fro.
It's the fletching on the arrow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a very nice word.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fetching.
What a fetching word.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ah.
beat me to it. Good one, Sam.
Is this camera just in black and white, and then Argus is, or that front camera is in color?
Yeah.
Or there's just less light in the back?
A lot of them go to black and white mode when they're in low light.
Okay.
So that one might always be black and white, or it might be just not having a lot of light. I don't know the answer to that. We change them around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It always messes with us.
It's color on deck. And wire cam is color during the day.
Okay.
It's on the 4-to-H watch. It's kind of nice. You know whenever sunrise is happening because it'll go color and then it'll go back to black and white. Go to color and black and white.
Okay to show 13?
Yeah.
Cool. So,
Robert.
one other camera on Argus. You okay up there?
Yes.
Okay.
Questionable.
So Trevor, what's this one?
That is utility camera. That shows us three things. So the most important one, the one we're watching right now, is the two gauges. There's a black and a white gauge. And that tells us our comp pressures, the amount of oil left in our oily systems. And if that gets too low, then it indicates a problem. So we like to monitor it, and we record it every hour. And we track the change over time to see if the oil is going anywhere we don't want it to go. The other thing we check is on the left, that big thing is the sonar. The sonar right now is in its home, in its happy home, but it's hanging below the vehicle. So it would not like to be in that happy home on deck. So it actually comes back up before recovery. So this camera makes sure it actually does come up, and if not, we let the deck know and they have to deal with it. And the third thing is on the right, the angled bit there, that's the tilt platform. That is the up and down control of the Argus Zeus camera. So we can watch that as we're driving it up and down to make sure it doesn't run into anything or it's in the spot we want it.
And is this side scan sonar, that sonar on the left-hand side, that's the side scan that we're seeing?
That is not. That is different.
Not. Okay, that's a different one.
The one you're seeing there is the 360 camera, the downward-facing 360-degree scanning sonar. The side scan sonars are mounted to the side of the vehicle, and they are out of view of the camera.
Oh, okay. And those are just temporary additions for this cruise?
Not regularly used, but permanently installed.
Permanently
Can we zoom in
installed.
on Argus? I'm sorry.
Zoom in on Argus.
Oh, yep.
Zoom in on that.
Zoom, zoom,
It's
zoom,
not
zoom, zoom.
looking.
Okay. Zoom in.
Crack.
Is that life? Is there life down there?
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be life.
Oh, too far.
Better not be.
And going wide.
Looks like snow.
Oh, was that rock?
You want to go back in?
Follow your heart, Sam.
All right.
Focus.
It's probably just
Oh.
exposed rock. No.
Oh, we can bump it a little more. Oh, can't focus though.
Okay. Thank
How
you.
big's the little... Never mind.
Interesting how these are lined up.
Are they rocks? Is that
Yeah,
what we're looking at? Yeah. It is interesting.
Well-
They're like rows almost.
slumps, yeah. They're very small controls. quite a big fissure there below us. Oh, what's that? Who's that? Jelly? Cucumber? Cucumber. So do we have any other Argus cameras that we can complete our tour with? Nope, no more Argus cameras. We'll go back to...
What about the moon? Can we see the moon from the
The moon
cam?
is not on Argus.
Can we see the moon from Argus?
Well, funny you should ask that. The light doesn't penetrate past a couple 100 meters.
Wait, what? Why didn't anybody tell me this?
It's pretty high up, the moon. That moon there it is, it's pretty high up. So I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's at its fullness.
Full blown.
Full moon.
Oh,
Oh no. But it is really pretty out there. All right, it looks like parts of the world are kind of waking up and joining us. Good morning, if that's you. We now have Ukraine and Philippines who have joined us, in addition to coast United States, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Netherlands, Germany, Australia, Sweden, Finland, Denmark, and Trevor's home turf, Canada.
hey.
Hey. Thanks for tuning in. If you did just pop on, we are currently mapping line 11. So line 11 was part of our initial survey area, and our team determined that there was a slight gap in coverage. So after finishing the western addition earlier this evening, we've taken Argus back to that line 11 area, and we're currently conducting side scan sonar survey. And then once this line is complete, which should be a few hours-ish, we'll be taking Argus cam over to targets 30 and 31 to actually get visuals on it. So I believe that will be our first visual video of targets, which is really exciting.
That was a good list of countries that just came on.
Yeah, we also have Armenia too.
Wow. So how many languages can we get either saying hello or good morning or good day?
We played this game yesterday
Oh,
too.
yeah?
Yeah, we should
Okay.
do it again because we only had a couple.
Let's start with Privyet.
Good one.
That one's
That
easy.
is a good one.
Because we have a lot of Ukrainian crew on board.
Hola.
Privyet.
Hello. Buenos dias.
Bonjour.
What other language?
Hello.
Guten
Buonasera.
Morgen.
What? Oh,
Which one was that?
Italian.
Ooh.
what is it?
Buonasera.
Oh.
Oh.
Buonasera.
I hope I'm right. Now I'm doubting myself.
No.
I believe in it.
Jumbo.
Oh, yep.
Are we saying good morning or hello?
Whatever you want.
Same.
Hey.
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 That also encompasses like 12 different countries,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Nailed it.
That's good.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
Talofa.
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 Hey. Good one.
Bula is Fiji.
Ula?
Did we get
Merhaba.
aloha?
Nope, I don't think we had aloha.
Konnichiwa.
What's good morning in Turkish?
Günaydın.
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 Say it again, Suna.
Günaydın.
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 Top of the morning to you.
Barev? I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation, but that is hello in Armenian. B-A-R-E-V. Yes.
Is that a viewer submitted?
Yep.
Excellent.
Barev. Oh, we also have ki or a, ki or a, ki or a, which is Maori for hello.
Kia ora. Yeah.
Kia ora, kia ora.
Namaskar.
Shalom.
Oh, shalom.
Actually, namaskar or namaste, technically.
Hey, that's right.
Is-
Yeah.
Yep. Depending on where you are.
Namaste. Namaskar.
Salam. Salam alaikum. Hello, you're just in time. We're
Hey,
doing
Ed.
greetings in languages around the world.
Hi. I don't know what language this is, but H-E-J, hi.
Hey.
Hey.
It's Swedish, I think.
That's right. Yeah.
Whoever, whatever country submitted this says that it is like the Japanese word for yes, hi, H-A-I.
Hi.
Hi. Oh, ni hao. It's hello in Chinese. Bye, Sam. Oh, that was Danish. Hi. Good morning in Japanese is Ohio. I may be mispronouncing that, but it's spelled O-H-A-I-Y-O. Ohio.
Konnichiwa. Shinda.
Shinda. Hey, good morning.
Hi.
Is it good morning for you or like good evening for you?
Yep.
Both of them.
Until October.
So Sam just took off and we now have
Somebody else.
video intern Ed.
Yep.
You really can't go wrong with saying good morning to somebody on the ship any time of day.
That's true,
Right.
right? It
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
always be,
Yeah.
or good night for that matter, I guess.
It's a little
good.
presumptious.
Just good.
That's true.
Even good's
Just
presumptuous.
good.
Yeah.
Good.
You just go, meh.
Eh.
Who modifies your armrests? Because every day you start here, you modify your armrests.
Yeah, because everyone else puts them way low.
Yeah.
Valeria
They do
puts
it
these
too.
way
Yeah.
low too. Yeah, I've been bringing them up
I'm
every single
oddly
time.
proportioned.
Hmm.
I have surprisingly long legs and
Short little arms.
short little torso.
You're the anti-me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you the one of those people like I go to get in your car and my thigh doesn't fit between the seat and the steering wheel?
That's
like
me,
it's
yep.
so far. Oh man, I put mine almost as far back as it goes.
Oh, I'm tucked right up there. I can reach the grill.
You were just making
though.
fun of Sam? Oh, is that part of you that you hate?
I'm projecting, Ed. It's called
Oh.
projecting.
You guys are going too far, too deep.
Well, we're cutting a line a different direction than I expected. Is this the holiday?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, you're way ahead of where I thought you'd be. Great.
We're doing it.
What's our progress on line 11?
I think we're actually getting fairly close to passing just south of the spot where the initial reporting said the Simone Clipper had gone down. And it's interesting. I've
Picture
been
that.
watching this, this video, this incredibly clear video, just marveling at these images of this dramatic volcanic landscape that no one's ever seen before. And it's so easy to imagine the wreckage of Simone Clipper just coming out of the gloom any second.
I know.
Right there with you.
Yeah, isn't that true? Like any moment. So
These
that
watches are difficult, and I say it's partially joking that there's like 8 phases of a side scan watch. There's like the energy and enthusiasm and
Yeah.
hopeful optimism, and then a lot others until you leave.
we just had we started a running list of what we can call our mid-watch delirium.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
We
So
call it
yeah.
interactions.
Miles, would you mind zooming out on HPAC, please?
Hi, Pack.
HIPAC? HPAC? I think I've been calling it
Think-
HPAC this entire time.
I think HPAC is a, oh man, just blew that joke. What's a Z-Pack? The 3-day routine you take, is it antibacterial?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Z-Pack is
It's
antibiotics.
Antibiotics.
It's a
I think HPAC
erythromycin.
is an antibiotic.
That's not a Z-Pack? So is this, when we're looking at the HIPAC, this blue line that kind of does almost like a square, that's the route that we've taken since we finished that western area?
Yeah, that's the route that Argus has taken since probably 5,000 seconds ago. 10,000 seconds.
Oh,
Can you compare that to
so
metric?
it may or may not have been since the last restart of HIPAC, but
okay.
I can tell you where we were.
it looks like there's ship lines in there too, so it's just 10,000 seconds.
When I left, the southern line had been, or that west line that we were doing in a southbound direction had been completed, and then we were just about done with that diagonal up there when I left.
When was that? When was your last
I'm on
shift?
11 to 4.
Okay, so 4 a.m. About
4
Is this
p.m.
4
19
p.m.?
hours ago. Oh, 4 p.m.
Man,
Oh, duh.
that's why I try not to answer those questions.
So, a few hours ago. Let's just say that.
7.
7 hours
I
ago.
think I get 7 hours off between launches.
There was a school of mahi right outside if anybody's interested in seeing them.
Oh, yeah. We should go wake up Peyton.
Where are you seeing them?
Outside.
Walk out the side of the van and look over into the water.
On what side?
Yeah.
Starboard or?
Starboard.
And the van just empties.
You wanna, I don't know which. You want a flashlight? You
BRB.
can see them better with flashlight.
Okay.
We might have a little radio silence as we check out the mahi-mahi that are traveling alongside of us.
Oh, you never have to worry about radio silence when I'm around.
That's right. You're all chipper and
Oh, yeah,
fresh.
Ed. So tell us your life story.
So I knew a guy once who would ask that question by saying, "So you were born, then what?"
That's good. I like that.
Whose sensor is on the iPod device?
Hanny's.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Did you just forget it?
He left it.
That was pretty cool. There is no camera, and I tried to get it with my phone, and it was a little bit too difficult, but they were there. You could just barely see them kind of directly underneath the surface of the water, and we had a big flashlight so you could sort of see them flashing as they were swimming through the top of the water. Super cool. So targets 30 and 31, now that we're back inside of the control van, are those two targets that our crew thinks probably hold the most potential and are most excited about in terms of, you know, looking for the Samoan Clipper. Where are those two targets in relation to where we are right now?
We would need to zoom the map out to see them. Thank you.
That's okay. The map is voice actuated.
Yeah. Zoom out and recenter.
Right.
Where are we looking for?
Target 30 and 31 that we're going to go by after this line. I'm not sure where they are actually.
They're up here.
Ah, there we go.
Oh, so yeah, so there's 30 and right there and 31. So we're still working on line 11. That was that sort of area that there was a bit of a gap in coverage. So we decided to, after we finished that western addition to the original survey area, we are trekking along here, mowing the lawn for line 11, and then are heading towards targets 30 and 31, where we will get Argus cam over them and can actually get a visual.
Yeah. Yeah, let me think. Yeah, on that bottom left area there, there's a button that says source, destination, and level. And as you press that, it's actually going to say which mode it's in on the right of the display for a brief moment, level, source, destination, etc. So you can make it say destination, and then once it resolves, you can use the knob on the right to, let me make sure I'm not, yeah, to select a new destination. Then you hit the all take button. Then automatically puts you into source mode, and then you can scroll around and choose something else and send it there. Does that make sense? I have the one from column A. No. Oh, Steven, you should never put stuff in there.
Last night we determined that Samoa Standard Time is in the last time zone.
Yeah, I think it's UTC or GMT plus 11.
Plus 11, so it is just after 11 p.m. here, 11:10. So we're again bringing up the end of July 18th.
Minus 11, isn't it?
Or minus 11?
Is it minus? Today's the 19th. Today's the anniversary. Trevor, any guess as to how many media files we've written? This is kind of a trick question. Yeah. I'll tell you that for every 15 minutes, we write the video file and an XML metadata file.
150.
So
I can do
far,
the math.
so far this dive, we've written 775 files.
Wow. That's a lot of files.
Each file is 2 gigabytes?
The media files
that the-
are, yeah, we've written 6 terabytes of data.
That is a lot.
Now these are the full resolution files, so each one's 20 gigs.
Wow.
So
Where does
6
all of this go? To some master server?
right there.
Oh, right by my foot.
Yeah. Yeah.
I should be more
And
careful.
they are copied off of there in an ongoing process to another protected area, and then they go to LTO tapes, archival.
And they just live there
tapes.
forever?
No, those ones, each
Except for the
file is
highlights?
written in 2 tapes,
Uh-huh.
and one set of tapes is shipped to the University of Rhode Island
Oh.
and gets put on protected storage there.
So we actually have like a physical
Yeah.
tape.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's
Yeah.
different.
They're archival. No, that's pretty standard in what I would call best practices
I just
for
meant
digital
different
asset
for
protection.
millennials here.
Oh, right.
What's a tape?
Yeah, yeah. If you saw it, you wouldn't know it was tape. It looks like a cartridge.
Okay.
There's no exposed tape. Everything's contained within the cartridge, so
Like a
there's
floppy
no
disk?
worry about. No, it's a big thing. Hey, Russ, you in here? No.
Yes, I am.
Oh,
Yep.
I almost told her no. It's like an 8-track. I realized that.
Right.
It's a
I think
waste
my
of
dad
air.
talked about those one time.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Told me a story about an 8-track one time.
So it's a sealed cartridge, and it writes and reads to the cartridge through the case, and it's pretty much the data standard right now.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
So we sort of have, and Dee Dee, you're probably better at explaining this than I am, or Russ, but there are kind of different steps in terms of getting this sonar data. So we do this initial scan, right, and then we it's cleaned up in sort of a post-production area process. When you guys clean this up, is there a need to sort of stretch or compress the image to be able to identify objects, or how do you go about getting that cleaner cut?
That's the magic of the computer program.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously not exactly sure how it does what it does, but it does it well. And it compensates for, you know, the speed and a little bit of the ship movement, and makes it look cleaner. So that's one of the things is before you leave, it'd be interested for you to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Just as sort of an educational thing. Yeah, it looks much smoother, much crisper than what you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I was Googling side scan sonar images earlier before our watch, and just sonar images in general, and there's some incredible work out there. I mean, you can see almost full figures at the bottom of the seafloor, and I wonder, is that...
There's body images. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Is that is that after production too, or is that sort of in real time? Like, if we were using that technology, would we be seeing it to that
You would
extent?
have to be pretty close to a body. Those are probably in lakes or ponds.
Okay.
You know, done by the police. So I doubt we could pick out a body in this depth of water. But you know, anything that's posted on the internet is pretty much processed, just to make it look the best that it can.
Yeah, some of those ship outlines too. I mean, you could tell. So it was interesting because you could tell sort of the scale that we were talking about with that one target that looked like a propeller, right?
Did you see any plane examples?
I don't.
Aircraft?
I think it was mostly ships that I was seeing. Yeah.
Yeah, there are a number of planes. If you put in aircraft or plane and side scan that come up. I almost thought about trying to import some of those into our target file. Maybe I'll try that for tomorrow's watch. Put some of those in our target file so I can pull those up so that people watching can see examples of airplanes that have been located.
Yeah, that'd be really cool, I
Okay.
think. Yeah, definitely. And even, so I just pulled it up on Google, and it's pretty wild because, you know, we sort of have this idea of what we think we're going to see on this, and then looking at the, obviously they're very cleaned up, of course, but being able to see sort of what those images look like, and especially as, you know, we've been mapping and being like, oh, that looks like it could be a part of an airplane, but then realizing it's actually a geological feature. I think this sort of helps to clarify and provide a visual on that.
Yeah, definitely looking at examples online gives you an idea of, you know, what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You can see mooring fields with anchor blocks. I always think that's interesting. Lobster traps, like a lobster trawl too, with
Oh,
the
wow.
lines connecting the lobster pots.
Wow.
Those are kind of cool. You know, anchors, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling Brian that when you have a target, it usually, you know, when you find what you're looking for, now if you're looking for a debris field, that's completely different. But if it's intact or partially intact, it looks like those novelty items, which are a rectangle with a bunch of flattened steel pegs through them, and you can push your hand in, and the pegs come out
what are
of the
those
other
called?
side.
Yeah.
That's what the side scan looks like when you find what you're looking for. It looks like it's on the other side of something, like elastic or rubber almost, and it's been pushed through to make an impression.
It's not a slinky, but it's like the same vein of toys as a slinky.
Yeah.
I feel like it's one of those ones that you just have as a kid.
With the pins that you like
Yes.
stuck on your face.
Yeah,
Yep.
what is that called?
I don't know if that had a name though.
And also, why was that so entertaining?
It's tactile, I think.
Yeah, that's a good point. So yeah,
Yeah.
so this is really interesting to see, you know, with these ships, if you just Google aircraft or, well, this one in particular, the ship, you can see the masts, right? And then how far out the shadow goes from there. And you can see that with these airplanes too, the wings kind of expand out.
The NTSB accident report on the El Faro has, I think it's the side scan imaging from Sentry, the AUV from Woods Hole.
Of course, a lot of these that pull up are intact, right? So of course we're looking a little, you know, for debris or different parts.
I would have a hard time imagining a scenario where one engine was 3 miles away from another engine, but
True, yeah.
you never know. That would
Ed, this one's for you, I think.
when I was in high school, and you have to remember back then everything was in black and white.
And you had to walk uphill both ways?
I had a 65 Mustang
Oh.
that had a 8-track player in it.
You bought that new?
I got it from it was brand new right off the lot for my 40th birthday.
That's not true.
In high school.
I dated you the other day. You gave enough clues away.
When I was saying that Kennedy was president when I was born?
I think, I can't remember what it was now, yeah.
Dan and I are a year different in age.
Okay.
I'm a year older than him.
Okay.
And Pavel and I are the same age.
I can't remember what the clue was.
Huh.
Huh.
But one of the 8-tracks I had in that vehicle, Russ, was National Lampoon. Made for a fun drive.
I'll bet.
My dad has a story about his 8-track. He was doing...
Should we ring him up? We have a phone interface. See,
Oh
what
my
time
gosh,
is it
he would
there?
be so mad at me.
Was it 4:20 in the morning?
He was telling me he once did a cross-country road trip, and I think he had Beastie Boys, but the only song that worked for whatever reason was No Sleep Till Brooklyn. And
Oh,
so
yeah. There you go.
they listened to it for their however long that cross-country
I
road
could
trip
tolerate
was.
that for a while.
Yeah.
But then I need some sabotage.
Yeah.
It is a little ironic that when I was that age, there was a big thing about the lyrics and the content of music, and there was congressional hearings on it. And there was an organization called the Parents Music Resource Center,
Wasn't
which
like
was trying to ban or make music rated like films, so you had to be a certain age to hear a song. And almost every song that they objected to as, you know, being a threat to society, you've probably heard in a supermarket while you've been shopping.
it was a lot of rap
nowadays.
too, wasn't it? That was a big one.
They were
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
Metallica, I think, was another
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
And an artist unknown to most people, Frank Zappa, was a big opponent to the censorship that the government was trying to implement. But the end result of that whole thing, the compromise they worked out, was the parental advisory stickers.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like that's.
Right.
We had to study a lot of that too in grad school or in
Oh,
J
yeah.
school, just like
Yeah.
freedom of speech and
Yeah.
precedent and. I could look at these side scan images for a long time. This is really,
Good.
really interesting.
Look at
actually.
these.
Oh yeah. Wait, I'm getting distracted.
You want to look at side scan? Have I got a monitor for you?
How long does it take to clean up one of these images? Is it a pretty quick
I
process?
think it all
or?
depends.
Yeah.
Well, in the instance of here, it's downloading off of the server and then importing it into the software, and then it thinks for a little bit. But, I mean, for one line, it wouldn't take more than, you know, at tops a half an hour.
Oh wow, that's really quick.
But typically you do, you know, sort of a bunch of lines together.
Right, and if we've been figuring that most of our lines have been about 4 hours, so you got an 8-to-1 ratio, or 1-to-8. Collection time to processing time.
Yep, so those of you just popping on, we are the 8 to 12 p.m. crew, wrapping up the last few minutes of July, or last 30 minutes or so of July 18th here in American Samoa. And we are also wrapping up the line 11. So a few hours ago we finished up that western additional area to the initial survey region, and have decided to fill in a small area that that we missed earlier, and then we're en route once that's done to targets 30 and 31, and those are two that our research team has determined that are probably the most potential in terms of all of the targets, all 60 of them that we've now logged in our side scan survey, sonar survey. And then we'll bring Argus over them and get a visual, which is pretty exciting. I don't know that we've brought Argus cam over any of the targets yet, so that should be a really fun watch to be a part of.
Yeah, unless it was on doing the line adjacent to it, because obviously the Argus cam is in the nadir of the side scan as we're capturing.
Yeah, I might have to stay up late to watch that one.
Do you want to sit over here?
We also have, in addition to all of the countries I just named off not too long ago, France has joined us. We're also looking at the US from coast to coast, the United Kingdom, New Zealand, Canada, Netherlands, Germany, Australia, Sweden, and Denmark. So good morning to you all.
Does Canada light up when we look at it and see who's there? We had the one from Calgary the other shift.
Oops. Let me get over to that map.
Looks like same view. Huh. That's too close to the border. That's right over the border.
It's right there too.
That's on that route you were recommending I take last year, or was that that was last year, up to Banff and
Jasper, Canmore, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, but it's right on the border and then up. They're in between like BC and that area.
And that area.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know
called
what you
Alberta.
call that. I don't know what city would be down there in Alberta.
I'd have to look at the map.
Yeah.
I don't know what part you're
They'll
pointing
tell
at.
us long before you could get over here and look at it. Hey, Canadian viewer, where are you? Although, viewer means computer turned on.
Does
so.
your map have like just the dots but no city names?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
no.
has
That'd be
no.
fun. I'd like to.
It just has
a
national
fun game.
boundaries.
I'd like to go see what that is.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could get it.
Yeah. No, her computer. See if you can take a peek. Her computer is not on anything I can route around.
I think it's Calgary. You don't, yeah.
Really? No, that's
it's
too far
Calgary up
south.
here-ish.
No, it's, it's
Oh, up
over
here?
there.
I've driven that whole road. I should probably know a little bit better.
I think that's where the sunrise is.
You mean,
Oh. Yeah, yeah.
squished horizontally, maybe?
The aspect ratio is wrong.
Yeah, that looks like
Preston?
Creston?
Yeah, what's the Cran one? That's the,
It might be too far west for that. It might be like.
Yes, that might even be in BC.
It's in BC.
honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the road that you get up when you're going up the Alcan, right? I mean, you go up through Banff and Jasper and up there, and then you go.
Yeah.
There's one. There's like 3 right here. There's not a whole lot.
You could take 99 all the way up and cut over there.
Yeah, but Idaho, Montana just has like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
I think it's west of Spokane, which means it's not Preston or Cranbrook.
Yeah, it might have been. It's hard when you don't have anything but the national boundaries and the aspect ratio is squished, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's west of Spokane, which means
I think it's definitely west of Spokane.
Rock Creek.
Look at the comments, see if our Canadian viewer in BC is telling us where they are.
Nope.
See if they're telling us where they are.
And it doesn't
No.
do it if you poke it.
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Well, if you're in British Columbia-ish, let us know where you live. All right. Russ, I'm going to pass this question over to you if you're up for it.
Okay.
Okay. What is the story on the Simone Clipper?
All right. Well, Simone Clipper was a Sikorsky S-42B type flying boat. They were built specifically and exclusively for Pan American Airways for transoceanic travel. Simone Clipper was the 8th of 10 built, and the first of 3 that were specially modified as the B model for long-range survey flying. So Pan American was the U.S.'s flagship airline, the one that was taking Americans and connecting the country with the rest of the world through international routes. They started in the late 1920s, October 1927, flying airmail from Key West to Havana, Cuba, and then it expanded throughout the Caribbean and then down to Central and South America. and they used those routes to develop the techniques and the technology for long distance ocean flying. They kind of called it their Caribbean college, as they learned their way and how to do this effectively. And the man who really led that effort, who was had joined the airline as pilot number 1 and served as chief pilot, was named Edwin Musick. And he was the one when Pan Am decided they were going to fly the Atlantic, and were unable to get landing permissions in the UK. So they rather audaciously decided that instead of that, they would just go ahead and cross the biggest ocean on Earth and fly the Pacific to bring regularly scheduled air transport to the greatest ocean on Earth. A lot of people certainly didn't believe it could be done out at the state of the technology that as it existed at that time, and in fact they had to challenge the aircraft manufacturers to make planes that could meet what they needed. The technology literally did not exist at the time that they announced that this was their intention. But and in fact, one aircraft manufacturer was supposedly heard to say that Pan Am didn't want an airplane; they wanted a miracle. But two companies took them up on it. Sikorsky Aircraft and Martin, and the result was the Sikorsky S-42 and also the Martin M130. But Samoan Clipper was an S-42 and was part of that following in the wake of the ones that they had used to chart their way across the Pacific. First, to Honolulu. 2,400 miles over unbroken ocean from San Francisco to Hawaii, and then on across the Pacific. And again, it was Ed Musick who was leading the way as they established bases on far-flung islands that had been uninhabited for more than a century, and working their way from Honolulu on to Midway, Wake, Guam, and then on, Midway, Wake, Guam, and on to Manila in the Philippines. And when they did that first commercial flight across the Pacific of the China Clipper, it was Ed Musick at the controls. And when they, at the end of that year, after that astonishing feat, he was featured on the cover of Time magazine and was awarded the Harmon Trophy as the world's outstanding aviator. Now, Pan American was always wanting to expand their routes, so they cast their eye towards New Zealand, and once again it was Ed Musick who was chosen to lead the way, and the route they chose would go from San Francisco to Honolulu, Honolulu to Kingman Reef to Pongo Pongo, American Samoa, and then on down to Auckland, New Zealand. And they needed a special airplane to be able to make those long distance hops. So they modified. They created the B model of the S-42, and the first one to roll out of the factory was registered as NC16734, which would eventually become Samoan Clipper. It was first named Pan American Clipper 2, and was used on the initial survey flight in March and April of 1937, making the run to Auckland and back. Then it was later was sent to